What's going on, everyone? So, Trevor Lane recently talked about how he got confirmation from sources that the Lakers are expected to continue to be aggressive going into the trade deadline. And you're kind of getting this sentiment. We've heard from several people that Lakers, their plan is to continue to be aggressive, that the goal is to win a championship now. Trevor Lane even said that, no, Lakers' goal is to win a championship with LeBron James and Luka Dončić this season, and that they're going to be aggressive looking to find that trade and that move. But we've also got reports that the Lakers, hey, they want to kind of see and observe, engage, which I'm fine with. I've talked about it several times, right? I'm okay if the Lakers want to go into the season as is, right? You need to keep your head on a swivel, right? You still want to be doing your due diligence. You still want to be gauging. You want to find those opportunistic trades. If it becomes available right now, you take it. If there's nothing there right now and all there is are overpays, then you be patient and you go into the season, right? Again, patience is key. No trade is better than a bad trade, but your patience has to pay off. Rob Pelinka recently, his patience has been paying off. If it continues to pay off, no issues, right? It's a fine line between the patience and you're just, being too passive, right? That you need to be able to balance that aggressiveness as well as being patient and finding those right trades. Rob Pelinka, if anyone's going to make a trade, it's Rob Pelinka. The guy has made a trade every year he's been in office but one, and it was the 1 year that nobody made a trade, and everyone that was projected to get traded all either didn't, never got traded, right? Or ended up getting traded in the offseason, like a DeJounte Murray, which turns out the Lakers were right to wait on DeJounte Murray because look what happened to DeJounte, unfortunately. You hate to see it. But also it ultimately led to the Lakers getting Luka. Right? Lakers might not get Luka if they already have a DeJounte Murray because maybe the Dallas Mavericks don't go and approach the Lakers because they already got their point guard. Especially if DeJounte Murray's healthy and what if he was really good for them type thing. So, who knows how things are going to play out, but you need to be patient. I do love hearing that the Lakers are going to be aggressive and that they want to win a championship now. Right? That's the key. There's all these questions of how serious are the Lakers? The Lakers are kind of rebuilding and they're doing this and they're trying to retool around Luka. And Rob has said that he wants to contend that every year that this organization about championship stuff. But, you got to also be able to see those things. I think the Lakers have made the moves. Right? Are the Lakers the best team in all of basketball? I don't know. Again, a lot of the questions with the Lakers are what ifs. There is a version of this team that's probably the best team in all of basketball because you have a healthy, motivated Luka Dončić who's probably going to have an MVP level season. LeBron James is going to be the second best option maybe we've ever seen. And then you have, Austin Reeves, who we know is excellent during the regular season. It's the postseason. Maybe he finally wakes up in the postseason, right? And then DeAndre Ayton, who needs to prove himself in a contract year that this could be his last stint, try to do something. Got guys like Jake LaRavia, Marcus Smart, Jared Vanderbilt's going to be healthy this full season. Gabe Vincent's going to be healthy this full season. Maxi Kleber's looking rejuvenated and looks like he went in the hyperbolic time chamber and is all swole now and everything, right? We got swole Kleber, right? Who knows? Who knows how this team looks? Maybe this team might just be running through everybody and run their way into an NBA championship, right? There's also a version of this where it's a little clunky and it is a little awkward and Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves just aren't working as a trio and DeAndre Ayton isn't really buying into the level that we need him to and, Gabe Vincent still hasn't, woken up and realized he's an NBA player and Jared Vanderbilt, I don't know. And we won't know until we actually see it, until we actually get on the basketball court. Right now, you look at the roster and it's they really could use that athletic kind of two-way defensive guy. That's why, Andrew Wiggins is such a high, everyone's go get an Andrew Wiggins. But right now, he's not worth paying a first, Dalton Connect, Rui Hachimura, and whatever else. It's not worth it right now. Right? That price probably comes down if Miami's not very good and they start getting into the post and they want to free up cap space. A lot can happen between now and then. Or maybe you don't need him as badly as you do now. I'd still try to go get him because even if a Jake LaRavia or Jared Vanderbilt kind of steps into that role, right, you still could use his experience and a guy that has won a championship and all that stuff, that goes a long way. And he's just more proven, right? And on a longer term scale. So if you can get the guy, or maybe somebody else opens up, whatever, right? But also if you go into the season and things work out the way that you're hopeful that they do, that could now make making trades easier, right? Because now, again, if Jake LaRavia and Jared Vanderbilt are holding that 3 spot down for you and they're torching and killing things, one, it might make it more digestible to trade a Rui Hachimura, but also now when you have those negotiations, you're not coming from a place of need, right? You're coming from a place of want. And it's like, hey, we don't need an Andrew Wiggins anymore. We want an Andrew Wiggins. Right now that things have changed. Right? And you have things like, hey, look what happened with DeAndre Ayton. You might want to make that trade. Hey, and then that's not to mention Lakers' best assets are probably their expiring contracts, which are really going to add value in their appreciating assets, right? The longer you can hold on to them, the more valuable that those are going to become. And now all of a sudden you get to trade deadline, teams might be falling and stumbling over themselves to get some of those guys because this new CBA has changed everything. Teams need to get out of guys in that, so you might be able to get options that you weren't able to get right now. There might be guys that are available at the trade deadline that we're not even thinking about right now. You're going to see a lot of guys have to get rid of players and things like that. I mean, you're seeing guys get waived that probably never would have gotten waived in the past. And I mean, Lakers have gotten a couple of those guys. You're seeing guys get traded and bought out and all this stuff because of the new CBA. So I want to see the Lakers remain aggressive, stay aggressive, continue to do your due diligence, right? But this team's going to be good. I'm not worried about them being a good team. It's just like, where are they in the rankings of good teams? Are they a top 3 to 5 team in all of basketball? And it's like, oh yeah, man, this team's really good. Because the Lakers could be better this year and still be the 5 seed rather than 3 seed. I mean, the difference between the 3 seed and the 8 seed was like a game and a half if you count in tiebreakers, right? So again, a lot of the Lakers getting into the 3 seed was due to tiebreakers. There was like 3 teams that had 50 wins. Right, but they had the tiebreakers over those teams. So again, Lakers, I do think Lakers could win 50 games again. They could win 51 games this year and end up being the 4 or 5 seed, depending on how other teams shape up. Right, so they could end up winning more games next season and still end up in the same spot or different spot or whatever. Right, so who knows how this season's going to play out, but I'm not they're going to be a playoff team, right? They're going to be a really good basketball team, right? They're going to be one of the better teams in the league, and we're going to be watching them, and things might plan out, and there might be that thing that really takes precedent, right? Right now, looking at the Lakers, it's like, okay, starting 3-and-D wing, backup center is probably would be nice, but what if Jackson Hayes is really good for us? Right, he was really good in the starting role for us. I didn't like the idea of him being our starter, and I made that very clear and got a little pushback on it until people started coming around and realized oh, wait a minute, Tyler was right. And it wasn't anything against him, right? It's just he's not the guy, Jackson Hayes is not the guy you want as your starter, right? He's a guy that, as a backup, right, if he can kind of give you the production he was giving, which I do think he still can, if he can give you 8-5 or 10-5 off the bench and be that high flyer, rim runner, and kind of improve, he's been working his 3-point shot and all this, if he can kind of be that for you, great. Now he can kind of transition into that role and take over in the backup role, and then maybe we look up and we're like, oh, hey, you know what? We don't even need a backup. We're good. We're good. It's just wrong with these guys, a Maxi Kleba or something like that, right? Or maybe he is good, but it's man, we still could use that other guy, right? So maybe through the course of a trade or something, you end up, landing somebody, right? No, again, maybe a Phoenix Suns team, right? Maybe they're not very good this year, and they're like, you know what? Let's get off of Dillon Brooks Bunny next season. All of a sudden, maybe we can get Dillon Brooks cheaper than an Andrew Wiggins, and it's perfect. And maybe we can get a Nick Richards in the trade too. Kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Right? Like I said, maybe the backup wing is excellent for us, and Jared Vanderbilt's 36%, or Jake LaRavia, kind of plays that 2-way spot for us, and is able to, be that 3-and-D wing for us. And it's okay, look, we're good. We don't need, we don't need that guy. It'd be nice to have, but you can't have too many of those guys. But hey, Jake LaRavia's killing it for us. We're the 2 seed in the Western Conference and, a game back of the 1 seed or something like that. We're on pace to win 60 games and whatever. Who knows? I don't know. Right? But as long as the Lakers are continuing to be aggressive, and between now and the trade deadline, or not trade deadline, training camp, there we go. Between now and training camp, don't be surprised if you start to hear trades and Lakers linked to guys. Don't be surprised if the Andrew Wiggins situation comes back up, or some of these other guys start to come back up, right? I mean, there's still talks about a Nikola Vucevic potentially being bought out, or some of these other guys being bought out. There could end up being somebody bought out that none of us even think about being bought out right now, that ends up getting bought out because, now that they're getting into training camp, teams want to kind of get their spots. Or maybe that guy just emerges for a team in training camp and it's like, ooh, we can go with this guy who's just, younger or whatever. He's been really good for us. So you know what? Let's buy out this guy over here and then bring that in. So that could open things up for the Lakers. There were even reports recently that the Lakers kind of want to see Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleber in training camp, right? What if those guys are just terrible in training? They're just not very good in training camp, right? Maybe they look to go and package them. There were reports that the Lakers could have already traded Gabe Vincent and Jared Vanderbilt if they wanted to, that teams have already asked and have worked and, presented trades that made sense for the Lakers for both of those guys, right? Maybe we get into training camp, getting into preseason or whatever, and the Lakers are like, you know what? Gabe he just doesn't have it, right? Like, Bronny's outperforming him right now. Like, let's try to turn him into something that can open minutes for Bronny, or, maybe, Chris Manning ends up stepping it. It's like, oh man, we could just kind of bring him in and he'd be cheaper and we can get off of Gabe Vincent and solve other needs, right? Like, so again, like, if you're the Lakers, you want patience. Patience is the key. Be patient. Let things kind of scale. Let things grow and develop. Move into the season, right? Let things kind of play itself out. You can always make the December trade or something like that, or make an early trade. Just the problem is once you get into the season, teams usually aren't in a rush till you get into like December, right? When they're starting to move into the new year or whatever, right? Teams usually want, the first 30, 40 games or so to really kind of gauge, okay, how is this team looking? How is this roster looking? And that's that. But like once you get to the trade deadline period, right, you're gonna have those teams that thought they were gonna be good, that wanted to be good, that aren't, that are gonna need to get off of guys and kind of reset and retool things. Then you're gonna have teams that don't want to be good, that are still trying to rebuild and tank for the bottom and stuff like that, that are good or at least better than they want to be. And so they're going to want to get off of guys and they're going to want to trade guys. So then that opens up potential for the Lakers to do those things. That's where the expiring contracts really become available. That's that, who knows whatever else becomes available, right? Like, what if a Giannis ends up, like, Milwaukee's terrible, they're like a play-in team, and Giannis is like, dude, like, it's time for me to go, right? Like, I have to do everything for us just to be a play-in team, like, get me out of here. And he requests trade, and he's like, I want to go to the Lakers to play with Luka, right? Now that changes everything. That changes the entire dynamic. Yes, the team might still go trade for him for a year and a half, but, maybe he's able to force his way or something, right? There's so many different potentials and possibilities of things that can happen, right? My concern is that if the Lakers are really good, that they don't go for it, right? Because that's kind of been a thing that's happened. It's like, Lakers, like last year, it was like Lakers were really good. I mean, obviously the Luka, like, what do the Lakers do if they don't trade for Luka? Right? Because I've talked about, like, and I was even asked in my most recent live stream recently, like, Tyler, do you think that the Lakers would have had a better chance of winning a championship with Anthony Davis? Yes. Right? Because one, I think the chemistry would have been better. Two, I think that, the fit, like, is better. And three, I think that, Anthony Davis slotted at the center position solves what we need. But also, if you don't trade for Luka Dončić, then you still have, like, Max Christie and all these other guys and the picks and stuff. Lakers probably go make other trades for other things, right? So now do they maybe go trade for, a Daniel Gafford or something like that, right? Like, do they go make a trade? Do they go trade for Nick Claxton or something like, maybe they make other moves and other trades that we just didn't think that they were going to make, or we didn't expect them to make, to where maybe they are deeper and more versatile and better all around. And Anthony Davis having this monster season rather than Luka kind of coming in injured and hobbled and stuff. But in the same breath, Lakers might have been a play-in team had they not got Luka Dončić. Because remember, Anthony Davis was hurt and missed a bunch of time. Big part of Lakers getting to the 3 seed was Luka getting healthy right, shortly after they traded for him. Where Anthony Davis tried to force himself back, he ended up getting hurt and missed all that time. Lakers might have been in the Dallas position, right? Because Anthony Davis also being on the Lakers probably doesn't have as much pressure to want to hurry up back. He wanted to hurry up and rush back to show Dallas fans that, like, hey, trust me, yeah, I know you just lost Luka and he was your guy. Watch what I can do for you type thing. He wanted to kind of prove himself. He probably doesn't have that pressure on the Lakers, right? He probably takes his time getting back. So that's something to keep in mind too. Lakers might have been a play-in team again had they not gotten Luka. So it's kind of that catch-22. But, stay aggressive. Continue to try to find those spots. Continue to try to find those trades if they present itself and they become available, right? Like, you don't have to go in and rush to the door to go do something, right? Let those things come to you. Find those opportunistic trades, right? That's the key. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me not. So enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.